All right, so we're going to go ahead and do sample problems for solving these types of exponential equations on the worksheet, because I'll have some more practice problems for you in class, so you can at least see how to do it these. So if you look, we're going to go ahead and do, we'll go ahead and look at 31 first. So even though it's a checkmate problem, I'm just going to rewrite it off to the side. When we were doing exponential problems before, we would take the bases and we would look to see on our chart where these two bases were in the same column. And if you look at these numbers, 6 and 91 do not show up in the same column, and so we can't do that method anymore. So now we have two options for our method. We have to put it in log form either way. We can use the Tootsie Roll method, or we can use the inverse method. So here, if you want to do the Tootsie Roll method, the base would become the base, so log base 6 of 91 equals x, and they wrote it correctly. It's a complete me problem, so you just have to plug this into your calculator and get the answer. If you don't want to do the Tootsie Roll method, if you want to do the inverse method, then you would say the opposite of exponential form with a base of 6 is log form with a base of 6. So we would say log base 6 of 6 to the x, and then log base 6 of 91. And log base 6 of 6 to the x, these would cancel, and you would get x equals log base 6 of 91. So either way, we have the same answer, and we can go ahead and type that in our calculators. So math, up, log base 6 of 91, 2.518. Now on these problems, you do not have to check to see if your answers will work, because you can plug in a negative to an exponent, you can plug in 0 to an exponent, you can plug in a positive. We're back to the answers where all the answers work. Right? For 32, we have to rewrite the problem. We can't have a base to an exponent plus something, so we have to subtract the 1 before we are able to get it out of exponential form. So we've got 2 to the x equals 68. And again, we have two different methods. You can Tootsie Roll if you want, or you can use the inverse method. So the Tootsie Roll method would say log with a base of 2 of 68 equals x. Or if you want to use the inverse method, you would say to undo a base of 2 to the x, we want to do log base 2 of that. And then if we do log base 2 on the left side, we have to do log base 2 on the right side. And so log base 2 of 2 to the x, the log base 2 and the 2 cancel, and we get x equals log base 2 of 68. .087. All right, for this one, it's ready. It's written as a base to an exponent, and then this number's all alone. So we can go ahead and we can Tootsie Roll, or we can do the inverse method. I'm going to go ahead and do the Tootsie Roll on this one. So I'm going to say log base 19 of 75 equals x minus 10. And then for me to get the x alone, I just need to add the 10 to the other side. And that 10 is not being added to the 75. That 75 is kind of like trapped by that log. So the 10 is just tacked on to the end. So when you type this into your calculator, you're going to type log base 19 of 75 and then plus 10. So 11.466. All right, and this time we want to make sure we do one of the E problems. So, and this time I'll go ahead and use the inverse method. So the opposite of E is ln. So I'm going to say ln the left side, ln the right side. ln E cancels, and so I get 4x equals ln of 120. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide by 4. And it's not 120 divided by 4, it's that whole thing, ln of 120 divided by 4. So I'm going to type ln of 120 and then divide it by 4, and I get 1.197.